Vlad the Impaler, the true story of the real Dracula. Few figures in history have inspired as much terror and fascination as Vlad III, Prince of Wallachia, better known as Vlad the Impaler, or Dracula. His reign in the 15th century was marked by unimaginable brutality, earning him a reputation as one of history's most ruthless rulers. While Bram Stoker's Dracula immortalized him as a vampire, the real Vlad was far more terrifying. A warlord who used psychological warfare, mass executions, and gruesome impalements to secure his power and strike fear into his enemies. Here is the true story of Vlad the Impaler, the man behind the legend. 1. The origins of Dracula, a prince born in blood. Vlad III was born in 1431 in Sighișoara, Transylvania, or possibly Târgoviște, Wallachia, the son of Vlad II Dracula, a ruler of Wallachia and member of the Order of the Dragon, a Christian knighthood dedicated to fighting the Ottoman Empire. The name Dracula, meaning son of the dragon or son of the devil, was inherited from his father, whose title, Dracul, dragon devil, came from his knightly order. Vlad's early life was shaped by war and betrayal. At age 12, he and his younger brother, Radu, were taken hostage by the Ottoman Sultan Murad II to ensure their father's loyalty. While Radu adapted to Ottoman life, Vlad endured imprisonment and possibly torture, fueling his hatred for the Turks. In Farindade, Vlad's father and older brother, Mehmed were murdered by rival nobles, boyars. Mehmed was blinded, tortured, and buried alive. This brutal betrayal would shape Vlad's merciless revenge against his enemies. Yekaterin's II, Rise to Power, the Banquet of Blood. After escaping Ottoman captivity, Vlad reclaimed Wallachia's throne in 1456. But his rule was unstable. To consolidate power, he invited hundreds of rival nobles to a feasting under the pretense of reconciliation. Once they were inside, Vlad's soldiers stabbed the guests and impaled their still twitching bodies on spikes outside his palace. The elderly and weak were executed immediately, while the rest were forced into slave labor to rebuild his fortress, Ponari Castle. Many died from exhaustion. This massacre sent a clear message: defiance meant impalement. Vlad's reign of terror, the Impaler's brutality. Vlad's preferred method of execution was impalement, a slow and agonizing death where victims were skewered on wooden stakes through their rectum or torso, sometimes taking days to die. Key atrocities. The Forest of the Impaled, 1462. When Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II invaded Wallachia, he was met with 20,000 impaled corpses outside Târgoviște, a horrifying display that forced the Turks to retreat, nailing turbans to heads. When Ottoman envoys refused to remove their turbans, citing religious custom, Vlad nailed their headgear to their skulls. Burning the poor and sick. Vlad once locked beggars and invalids in a hall and burned them alive, declaring them useless to society. Boiling, flaying, and skinning. He also used boiling oil, flaying, and decapitation to punish criminals and enemies. Estimates suggest Vlad killed between 40,000 and 100,000 people, about 20% of Wallachia's population. 4. Psychological warfare and legacy. Vlad's brutality was not just sadism, it was calculated terror. His impalements were designed to deter rebellion. Nobles feared crossing him. Break enemy morale. Ottoman troops fled at the sight of his forests of the dead. Enforce strict order. Crime reportedly vanished under his rule. Despite his cruelty, some historians argue he was a national hero who defended Wallachia from Ottoman conquest. Even Crowder Pope Pius VI praised his military victories. 5. Death and the Dracula legend. Vlad was killed in battle in 1476, possibly beheaded by the Ottomans, who sent his head to Sultan Mehmed II as proof. His body was reportedly buried at a Snagov monastery, but his grave was later found empty, fueling vampire myths. Bram Stoker's October 1897 novel, Dracula, borrowed Vlad's name and Eastern European setting, but the real Vlad was not a vampire, just a ruler whose cruelty surpassed fiction. Nehru. Final verdict: monster or defender? Vlad the Impaler remains one of history's most polarizing figures. A sadistic tyrant to some, a ruthless patriot to others. His reign was a nightmare of blood and stakes, yet his tactics secured Wallachhia's survival against overwhelming odds. Whether viewed as a medieval hero or a psychopath, one thing is certain: Vlad Dracula's legacy of terror endures.